examination, perhaps, of
Lt-Col Duncan Scott was questioned before the Farlam Commission of Inquiry on Wednesday about the police strategies during the Marikana unrest last year. He was asked about the sequence of the police's plan to curb the violent strike-related protests. A police slide showed that the initial plan was to prevent the protesters from going to the koppie armed. Police intended surrounding the koppie to disarm and arrest the protesters and take them to the Marikana police station.
Somebody gave a report through of cattle in the environment, and at the same time the helicopter had also reported to some degree the people were a lot more spread out than usual. They weren't tight on the koppie. I think they were sitting under the power lines itself, which is pretty much where the police were originally deployed the previous day. If there was cattle in the vicinity, that possibly they would use them to drive it through the razor wire encirclement if we decided to go that route, and then follow suit just to walk out behind the cattle. And then, of course, that raised more issues about, did we have sufficient wire? Why were the people sitting so widely spread out? We initially thought possibly that somebody inside the jock, and regrettably I must say we thought possibly some of the lineman personnel sitting behind the CCTV cameras may be leaking out what our possible plans were to the protesters because of the fact that they'd spread themselves out so widely. And amongst others, I know the point I raised was, thinking of it then, what happens if the group of strikers simply stood up and walked away while we were trying to encircle the koppie, and we encircled an empty koppie and they'd be maybe 400 meters or so away. General Annandale raised the point that if we did succeed in encircling them, that we could have a humanitarian crisis on hand, because if they decided not to come out, we would have weather conditions to contend with if it got to the night time and these people were cold. We would have water and food issues, and it was just not going to be feasible to do.
Scott played a pivotal role in drafting the police plan, which became known as the Scott Plan. The inquiry continues on Thursday. Chrissy Jacobs for SAPA.